rolling and action.
Okay, my name is Iver Mentor. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm a drug addict. I am currently using heroin and coke. I've yeah been using for a very long time. I think all in all, it's about 17 years. It's a long time. Yeah, I'm staying on the streets currently. I do not have a place to stay. It's also been a couple of years. I have had many a good jobs in the hospitality industry. I've also lost a lot of things, lost a lot of good people, friends, my family. Everybody cut me off except my mother and my sister basically. I yeah, I'm basically alone most of the time. I also cut myself off from people by choice because yeah, people disappoint and hurt you, and it's better that way, man. Yeah, also I've had a good childhood. I grew up in a very stable, good home. My mother and father divorced when I was in standard 3, and I think my mother wanted to overcompensate for that, and she gave me a lot of stuff. I was very spoiled, very spoiled by both my parents. I got everything that I wanted, and I had like a very crappy attitude. I wasn't a rude or naughty child. Very good child, actually very good and obedient and all this that kind of things. And then it reached a point where I decided, fuck this, like being good and obedient and all these things. And I went to Catholic school. Yeah, a gay guy going to Catholic school. Anyway, then they like they say, like, if you're good, this is gonna happen and God's gonna bless you. And then I'm like, but if I'm good all the time and I don't do bad things, why is all this stuff happening? My parents divorcing, my grandmother died, and all this shit things are happening to me. And then I just thought, like, fuck being good. When I reached standard 6, then I just started like bunking school. I didn't have a reason. I was very clever academically. I was at top marks. I had everything. Do you know what I mean? But then it reached a point where I didn't know what was going on because I was like trying to find myself gay. At that point I didn't know what was going on because coming out of a Catholic family and all those things, and society looks down on homosexuality. I was like, it's wrong and all this stuff, and then doing all this soul searching and then being cross with God, and then all that stuff that was happening in my head, it started coming out in my behaviors. I started rebelling, bunking school, not wanting to be at school, hanging out with the wrong people, smoking weed, a lot of weed, drinking, clubbing. I was like standard 6 and I was already going to big clubs in town at night, hanging out with older friends, the gay people introducing me to the scene, and especially the gay scene is like a very pretentious and glitz and glam and money, and it's all about looks and image. And if you're young and fresh, you get everything. Everybody wants to be with you, and you just like the talk of the town, life of the party. And I just wanted to forget the situation at home. I'd like tell them I'm going to the shop, and I'd stay away for like a month or two. Standard 6, and the police is looking for me because my parents don't know where I am. My mother's worried, she's crying sick. And I was just like such a fucking bitch. I was like, fuck them, I don't give a fuck. These don't give a fuck. So leave me. I want to party. And then I started using club drugs, acid, all those things. And then it started just getting out of control. I started smoking rocks and buttons, hanging out on the yard with gangsters, and life was like an adventure for me. I enjoyed like just going with the flow. With the wind takes me to Tableview, then I was staying in Tableview for 2-3 weeks, a month, and then every night in the clubs. And then I find myself in Caledon, and I'm somehow in Wellington, or I'm here in Mitchell's Plain. Or I used to be like very nomadic. I used to enjoy that whole like a mission. Everything's a mission. I was very sneaky also. I looked like an angel, sounded like an angel, but I was so fucking devious because I just felt that the world is a cruel, bad place, and everybody owes me something. Fuck you, I'll just use you. To me, it was like men and stuff like that. If you got like power, status, money, I'll manipulate you and take from you, and yeah, when I'm done with you, you'll just roam in the streets and say my name. I used to be a park, yo, really. I hurt a lot of people and I didn't care. And then it reached the point where I just couldn't anymore. I couldn't. I dropped out of school, and then my mother gave up, and she like just totally ignored me. So I was basically in and out the house, and she wasn't speaking to me, and we were alone in the house because my brother moved into a separate entrance. My sister moved out, so we were in this big house, and I was on this side of the house, and she was on that side. And then in my room it's like party central. The music's dropping, and I'm smoking buttons and smoking guys and parties, and my mother's just oblivious. She doesn't even know. She just thinks I'm smoking weed occasionally. And when I'm high as a kite from the cocoa stuff, then she thinks, oh, he just had like a drink. She always just tell her friends, oh, when he's drunk, then he cleans the house from top to bottom, but currently I'm high as a kite. And I just, yeah, was a spoiled brat, spoiled rotten. Then I got into trouble with the law. I think I was still very young, and then I was supposed to be sentenced for 2 years or something. But then, luckily, I also told them I had a problem and it wasn't me, and I did this whole sad sob story, and then they sentenced me 2 years inpatient at the treatment facility. Alright, my first time in rehab, it was actually enjoyed it. But if you don't take it serious the first time, they actually taught me how to manipulate people better, and I used to hear the others talking about H and how they used to say like, so why and all stuff, and at the back of my mind I actually wasn't really done partying and stuff like that, because I still wanted to compromise with my recovery, and I was still blaming my father, blaming everybody else for my addiction. But now I realize it's all my own choices, my own doing and stuff like that. It wasn't because my father didn't love me or he didn't do this or he did that. It was just by choices, but they were contributing factors to my addiction. I wasn't responsible for my addiction, but for my recovery. And then I fell again, and then I started using H. And then I was working, moved out of home. I was at my own flat, and then I was telling myself in the back of my mind, I'm functioning because I'm working. I'm not harming anybody, I'm not stealing, I'm not doing anything. So if I wanna use, then it's my thing. Nobody can tell me. I didn't know about the turkey, heroin withdrawals. Anyway, I was working at this one restaurant, and I couldn't smoke buttons because of the shifts. So I'd be ticking, and then I needed something to bring me down. My dealer, which was Hansi, he brought me like, he said, take this will make you feel right. Take this will make you feel right. Anyway, I smoked the heroin first time, I got sick. Anyway, but it worked, it brought me down, and I didn't have to go in the yard and smoke the pipe and all that. That was quick, boil, quack. Smoked, so it went for a month or two until I started, one day I went to work, didn't have money, started getting very sick, started throwing up, and I phoned him, and then the turkey, and then from there it just went from bad to worse. I stole from work, I took a lot of money. Then what I would do if I got into trouble, I would just spot. So I left everything in my flat, and then I went to my father. He moved to Genadendal over the mountain, and I told him that I wanted to spend time with him to reconnect, get him married. But it wasn't because of that, because the law was looking for me, and I was on heroin, and I needed a way out. Yeah, I still had that hatred and that grudge towards him, and then I was there in Genadendal for a time, clean for a month, they took me out. And then one day they planned a family outing, his wife and the adopted son and me. And I played this whole happy family thing, but in the meantime when I was watching them, that whole month they like sit down for supper and everything's perfect. The house is big, he built the house from top to bottom, gave them everything. It's like he just forgot all the cuck that he put on. He was a heavy alcoholic when he was younger and abusive towards my mother and all stuff. So anyway, they went out, I stayed at home. Then I went through his wife's stuff. I took all the gold, all the money, all the stuff, and I went to this one merchant in Canada. I bought tuck and no unga, buttons, and then I smoked in the house. And I packed a big dog bag because he had a Musa storeroom, and I took all his electrical stuff and I still left the button pipe on his wife's pillowcase. And I wanted to get to Cape Town, jumped in a taxi, came to Cape Town, and that was the last time I saw him. I didn't phone him again. I told myself like, yeah, basically he's dead to me, which is a bad thing to do, but actually I don't feel bad about it in a way, because I've come to accept it, because I can't hold him accountable for my choices and actions. So yeah, I find myself on the street now, and yeah, I want a better life, because people's always telling me I have so much potential and so much skills, and I'm such a nice person, and why don't you go home? That's what fucking pisses me off when they tell you, like, oh, so like, oh, why are you on the streets? Why don't you go home? Like, I don't fucking have a home to go to. And it's not about getting a job. Getting a job is not the problem. It's about that opportunity that you need a proof of residence. You need a lot of things. I need a medical detox. I would like support, and yeah, just an opportunity. I know I fucked up many times, but we serve a God of second chances, of many chances, and I know that He has a plan and purpose for my life, because yeah, everything happens for reasons, and all the stuff that I have gone through, it equipped me with a very unique skill set, and I am very, very certain, and I know it in my heart of hearts, that I am meant to help other people, and I'm gonna reach that point again where I'm functional, because I don't want to see myself dying on the pavement, or breaking my mother's heart. My mother has done a lot for me, and to this day she's the only one who really stands by me, and yeah, I want to honor her and do the right thing. Yeah, just feels like, like after being hurt and all the stuff that you've been through, like it's just like you become cold, and it feels like I have become not uncaring, but I just cut people out, and I do my own thing. I have so much friends and people and stuff who want me to be around me, but I rejected all that. I'm just on my own buzz, like the hermit who's on the quest for I don't know, enlightenment. But yo, that's just fucked up. Everyone is a dark place to go to, and yeah, but there is hope. I believe there is hope.
What gives you hope?
I think my mother, and also when I look around me, man, I see life. I see the sun. I see the trees. I see people. I see functioning people. I see life happening, and this life that I'm living, this just being and drifting, it's not what I was meant to do, man. I was meant to create, to do great things, not to leave something behind that people will not say, like, Iver at my funeral, like, oh yeah, he was a quiet scallum, or he could smoke a lot of unga, or he shot up so many beats, or I want people to say good things, like, I made a difference, and there was times when I was doing good and I helped people, and I want to get there again. I don't want to be a curse, I want to be a blessing.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Yeah. Anything more you'd like to say?
No, that's basically it in a nutshell. There's so much more, but another time.
Advice for the kids?
Listen to your mother. Honor your mother while she's still around, and it's like society and the media, they tell boys to be tough and manly and be strong, but that's the thing that actually fucks you over. Be yourself, be unique, don't give a fuck what people say you must be, or how you must be, or just dare to be different, man. Real men, they show emotions, and they are not all manly and butch and da-da-da-da. That's not a real man. A real man is someone who cares, who shows emotion, who is not afraid to feel. Because they say you girlish or morphy. Fuck that. Also, read. That's my one thing that I can say my father installed in me, a love of reading. Reading is so important. It gives you so much power. It opens up doors, and it's free. Good leaders make good readers. Seriously, it might sound corny and cliche, but it's the truth. Education is important. Never too old to stop learning. And grab opportunities, because I fucked up many opportunities. I could have been far. Also, don't get caught up in the whole material thing of money and clothes, and it's just, yeah, a sick beast of a machine.
And what vision do you have yourself? What is the purpose behind your vision of where you'd like to be? You know?
Self-sustaining. I'd also like to help others again, like maybe going back to work in a facility again. Also, I'd like also to go on with my art, like creating stuff, maybe having starting my own coffee shop or something creative, man. Something.
I saw you acting earlier. You know, you have some brilliant skills in terms of like taking on different personas and so on. I mean, is that something that interests you as well?
Yeah, I think that's always been in me. That I don't know. It's like, it might sound weird, but sometimes when I'm alone, like, you know, like you just like, the world is so crazy and sick, and there's so much crime and stuff, and a whole lot of madness going on, that it's like how I just try to stay sane, I suppose. Like, yeah, just act a fool.
Yeah.
Now when I'm alone, you know, like all crazy and
Like how?
yeah, entertainment. It's like, and also it's like sharpening a sword, keeping your mind fresh and
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Staying away from boredom. Yeah,
Yeah.
boredom is the mind killer, as is fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be like, boss, paga misa.
The devil
Mucho dinero.
capitalizes on you being empty.
Yeah. It's like, life is for the living. It's bubbly. It's moving. It's flowing. It's sun. It's the wind. But not like addiction. Addiction is death and morbid and darkness, and it doesn't suit me. Really, it doesn't. I don't like the person that I am when I use.
You shouldn't be confined to one space.
Yeah, it's like it's like when I'm clean, when I'm sober, it's like I blossom. It's like, oh, I can't explain it, but people always tell me like, glowing, bubbly, you blossom, you funny, you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You just,
die.
just be yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Sure. It's tough, man. It's tough. I don't realize it, but it's very tough.
And also one thing I came to I found myself, like I did a lot of soul searching, and it's like me, I can be whatever, dress whatever. I can wear a dress and I would be unfazed. People could say whatever, and I'd like,
Yeah.
it's like and it's a quiet thing to know yourself, man, and to be secure in yourself, that you can just be who you are.
The best thing about the street, is that they accept you, Everybody accepts one another.
The thing is, I accept myself before anybody. I don't need approval or acceptance from anybody else,
Yeah.
because I accept myself first. I find myself. But drugs, this is not part of me. It's that, just I'm gonna make a change. Yeah.
Now we pray for each other.
Yeah, and I pray. It might seem so, but I'm a very spiritual person. There was a time when I was also converted, and I know my scriptures and stuff like that. And I could only find God by turning my back on God. There was a time when I was angry at Him, and I hated God. There was a time I was agnostic. I was weakened. I was trying to find all the answers in all this weird different place. Buddhist. I was into the Tao and all these things, but that's the quiet thing. Like all those different types of knowledge and religions and stuff, it taught me about acceptance, man. And by not being narrow-minded and wearing blinkers, because variety is the spice of life.
True.
And limited minds leads to limited people. I'm very open-minded. I don't judge much.
So we love you. You have to be open-minded today, because I mean a lot of things happen, weird things happen in our society today, like children getting kidnapped, being sold as slaves, and the most difficult part of being on the street is first of all your means of survival and how you get through your day, because when it starts, your day starts in the morning at 5 a.m, maybe say hypothetically 4:30. It's difficult when you wake up thinking where your next meal is going to come from. Some of us, we do have the resources, of obtaining food and stuff like that, but others then, we get rejected, and rejection is very difficult to handle, I would say, because It's difficult for us being popular. We're very popular. It's fine. We're very popular in our circle of movement where we, us as drug addicts. Hi, my name is Bevan, and
Hi, Bevan.
I'm a drug addict as well. I've been for the, yeah.
Let's do